us continue worshiping with 251. He lives. 251. 251.
I serve a risen Savior, He's in the world today. I know that He is living, whatever man may say. I see His hand of mercy, I hear His voice of cheer, and just the time I need Him, He's always near. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. In all the world around me, I see His loving care. And though my heart was weary, I never will despair. I know that He is leading through all the stormy paths. The day of His appearing will come at last. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. Salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Rejoice, rejoice, O Christian, lift up your voice and sing eternal hallelujah to Jesus Christ the King, the hope of all who seek Him, the help of all who find. None other is so loving, so good and kind. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart.
Happy Sabbath, everyone. We shall continue with hymn 240. Fairest Lord Jesus. Fairest Lord Jesus, fairest Lord Jesus, ruler of all nations, Father of God, and man the Son. Thee will I cherish, thee will I honor. Thou art my glory, joy, and crown. Fair are the meadows, fair are the woodlands, wrapped in the blooming cup of spring. Jesus is fairer, Jesus is purer, who makes
298, 295, Chief of Sinners.
Chief of sinners, though I be, Jesus shed his blood for me, died that I might live on high, died that I might never die. As the branches to the vine, I am his and he is mine. Oh, the height of Jesus' blood, higher than the heaven above, deeper than the deepest sea, lasting past eternity. Oh, love that found me wondrous Lord, found me when I sought him not. Chief of sinners though I be, Christ is calling out to me. All my wants to him are known, all my sorrows are his own. Save with him from earthly strife, he sustains the hidden life.
We shall continue with hymn 264. Oh, for that flame. 264.
Oh, for that flame of living fire, which shone so bright in saints of old, which made the souls to heaven burn, come in distress, in danger bold. Where is the Spirit, Lord, which dwelt in our broken breast and sealed in blood, which made Paul's heart with sorrow melt, and glow with energy divine. The Spirit with from age to age proclaim thy love and taught thy ways, brighten Isaiah's vivid page, and breathe in David's hallowed ways. Is not thy grace as mighty now as when Elijah felt his palm, when glory beamed from Moses' brow? Oh, Job endured the trying hour. Remember, Lord, the ancient days, renew thy work, thy grace restore, and why to thee our hearts we raise, on earth thy Holy Spirit pour.
May we have some choices from the congregation?
Yes, Jen. Number?
No more congregations. 350. Blessed be the tie that binds.
Blessed be the tie that binds us in Christian love, the fellowship of kindred minds is like to that above. Before our Father's throne, we pour our ardent prayers, our feast, our hope, our aims, our one, our comforts and our care. We share a mutual one, a mutual burdens burn, and often for each other's fault, the sympathizing team. When we are sad apart, each gives us inward pain, but we shall still be joined in heart and hope to meet again.
Thank you so much. 281.
Happy Sabbath once again. We thank God for yet a shower of blessing that has made people come inside church. And I want to pray that the time you're in here, you're not just seeking refuge, but enjoying the moment we are going to stay together. I want to call upon my baby girl, Rehema Nana, to come and praise God. Come up here, baby girl. Come up. She's going to sing a special item to worship the Lord as the panelists take their seats for us to begin this afternoon program. You're going to sing.
Happy Sabbath, church. Happy day. I'm going to sing a special item. My name is Rehema Lunkuse. A long time ago, in a beautiful place. A long time ago, in a beautiful place, children were gathered round Jesus. He blessed and taught as they found of his love. He saw the tears on his face, the look that he felt for his little ones. I know he feels for me. I did not touch him or sit on his knee, yet Jesus is real to me. I know he lives. I will follow faithfully. My heart I give to him. I know that my Savior loves me. give his judge bow down. Living each day I will follow his way, home to my Father above. I know he lives. I will follow faithfully. My heart I give to him. I know that my Savior loves me. Now I am here in a beautiful place, learning the teachings of Jesus. Parents and teachers will help guide the way, lighting my path every day. Wrapped in the arms of my Savior's love, I give his judge bow down. Living each day I will follow his way, home to my Father above. I know he lives. I will follow faithfully. My heart I give to him. I know that my Savior loves me. I know that my Savior loves me.
Thank you so much. We thank God for such a beautiful voice, and we thank God for such a beautiful day. I want to call upon Nakato Farida and Birunji Lillian. You come up here. We begin the program. Oh, happy Sabbath. This is going to be very interactive, and I want to believe that you, if you attended the divine today, the divine worship, could I be helped with some microphones? If you attended the divine today, this will not be a hard topic for you. We are going to share it together. These are day-to-day things that we do. And I want to believe that you and me know very well what is leisure. You know, the first time they gave us the topic recreation, all of a sudden our minds fell on recreating, like creating a new something. However, much as it is also true, but for this month it was about rebirth, reborn, changing life, getting back health from what it has been struggling with. Okay? So recreation, like I said, I need also one person. Maybe Jen, you'll help us. The microphone should be around that side so that the audience will equally interact. But recreation and leisure, they are time activities that help you attain proper balance of your life. There is a tendency as Christians that you find yourself rotating into from church, work, home, church, work. And there isn't any gap therein that will give you a chance to relax. Our brethren who are not in church, their time of recreation, I like the preacher. The preacher said 2 words. He said it is either recreation or what? Amusement. So our brethren, many times they get into amusement. And then even us, because it is so exciting, we think it is relaxing, we think it is leisure. But they are saying that it brings a balance to life. Now, if you have an activity which you're calling leisure, But at the end of the day, you're more tired than before. Then remember the words of the preacher that you're on amusement, you're not on leisure. At the end of recreation, you're supposed to feel like refreshed, you feel better. There's an exercise that's so interesting. That is called aerobics. Okay? Aerobics. Tentatively, aerobics, you feel like you're going to get tired, but when you finish it, you feel more relaxed. I don't know how many of us have tried aerobics before. My church brethren, my church light is in my eyes, I can see. How many of us have gone to the gym at least? Okay, the men, yes. Now my Mifem, how do you maintain those figures? By not eating.
Yeah.
By not eating, that is not recreation. That's not recreation. And we also learned in Divine today that if we do not do the right recreation, God is not happy with us. God does not want us to work without rest. And rest should be proper rest. Now for rest, I'm going to open up to my panel. They are going to introduce themselves. But when I look at rest, some people, when you talk about rest, their minds all of a sudden goes to sleep. That's the only rest they know. But you can rest without necessarily sleeping. And not every sleeping is resting. Are we together on that? I hope I'm not speaking in tongues. Not every sleeping is resting. Some people sleep, but when they are not resting, they actually get out of bed more tired than they went there. Has it ever happened to you? Yep. You get out of bed from sleep, but when you're tired, chances are that you didn't actually rest. There are also modalities you can go through to kind of balance how rest should be. Like sleep, particularly if I can quote sleep. There are some things they say you're meant to do in order to sleep well. Partly, as my team is about to introduce, partly is, first of all, you should have lights off, like when it's dark, okay? When it's dark, that's one way. Another thing, you don't sleep on a full stomach. It will not give you good rest. Another thing, you should sleep when the body is refreshed. When the body temperature is lower than it is when you're awake. For example, have you ever asked yourself why night dresses are light clothes? Or you think it's just a design for the night? You thought it's just a design. No, it also has a health bit of it. The temperature under which you sleep, unless the one outside is really too hot, is actually a little lower to make your body balance up and relax. There was something I was going to comment, but I'm on church forum. They may think maybe I'm saying it otherwise, but the lower the temperature in your body, the better. So let me put it back to my team. I want to begin from the extreme left. Please introduce yourself.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy day.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy day.
My name is Judith Chiravo.
Judith, you're welcome.
Happy Sabbath, church.
Happy day.
I'm Jolly.
Yes, Jolie, you're welcome.
Happy Sabbath, church.
Happy day.
I'm Lillian Birunji.
Lillian, they didn't hear you.
I'm Birunji Lillian.
Birunji Lillian, yes.
Happy Sabbath, church.
Happy day.
I'm Nakato Farida.
Nakato, you're welcome. You can send it back. We need some help here on the microphones. We want to thank God that I have these panelists who are here with us, and different things are going to even come back unto you, the team. Nakato. Let me begin with the children. Yes, Jole. If I may ask you, first of all, I hope we all have the definition already what recreation is. Do we? Yeah. Okay, help us in your own words to define for us what the word recreation is.
Recreation is enjoyment you get when you're not working.
Enjoyment you get when you're not working. Audience, are we together?
Or that activity that you involve in yourself when, like, you're really out of work.
You're out of the daily labor or the routine of work that you're supposed to do. There is something else. It doesn't mean be idle. They are saying do something, but that something should be refreshing. Okay, if I may come to the youth. What activities can be done? That is Nakato. What activities can be done as a youth that we can utilize during our time of leisure or our time of recreation?
Yeah. Thank you, Sister Lydia. And just to add on, as the youth, recreation should also, as our speaker in the morning said, it should be able to rejuvenate us and also not overwork us. So as some activities as the youth we can do, they should also be adding a learning to us. So as a church, maybe we can organize church extravaganzas or rest in nature, something that is giving us rejuvenation, but also that is glorifying the name of God.
Thank you so much, Nakato. I want to throw it back to the house. Can we make mention of recreation activities? Back down to the house. Jen, do you have the microphone? Okay, from the audience, just to help us so that we are all moving together. Just mention one recreational activity you know of that we can do as human beings, generally. Hands up. Jen is moving around. Recreational activities. Yes, you have a neighbor there.
Swimming.
Swimming is one of them, yes. Another one. Because I want to be sure we are talking about something people understand. There is a hand around here. There's a hand around here. I want to be sure we are talking about the same thing. Yes, dear?
Happy Sabbath, church.
Happy J.
Yeah, we can engage in playing football.
Playing football, yes. Yes, we have now 2 recreation activities. There was a hand. You forgot the recreation activity. Yes, please give him a microphone.
Okay. We have many things that we can do to help us relax ourselves. Those people that have mentioned it too. But others, we can, like most of the recreation that always take place in gym centers, like skipping. Skipping
the rope, eh?
Yes.
Oh yes.
They're also playing volleyball, netball. There are so many.
Okay. We want to mention them. Why am I insisting we mention them? So that people can know what we are talking about. They talked about football. They are talking about games generally. Okay? All kind of games. The question is, do you have any game you know? Because we may talk about game. I remember when I was young, I was playing no boy. No ball, that one is throw ball. It's called throw ball. You be that side, I be this side, I be in the middle, and I dodge the ball. There's a hand here.
Ballet and singing.
Ballet and singing. Those are .com children. Eh? If you ask us how men can try ballet, we are in our own world. But thank you so much, Dana. Yes?
My friend here is saying walking, taking a walk.
Taking a walk. Yeah, taking a walk, yes, that is a good one. Why am I asking you this? So that your brain doesn't get locked up and you think the only leisure time I have is when I come to church. So I've spent my leisure. No. There is going out for evening teas, but the productive evening tea. Okay? You can go out for ice cream. It can also be a leisure moment, but try not to junk a lot. There is going for tours. I see church organizes a lot of tours, and sometimes we don't involve ourselves. There is also making productive reach out. When you reach out to your neighbors, reach out to those old people. Sometimes people do that as leisure. There was some lady on her birthday, she collected the money and gave out to the needy. Okay? Sometimes reaching out to others can also be a leisure activity. Something that will refresh your mind to think the other way, to start a new day, not continuity of life. There's also one other thing I learned, that in leisure, you learn to think about other people. You put your problems at a rest for at least that moment and think about others and God. Members behind, are we together? Do you have any leisure activity you know of? Which one? Lumamongering is not part of it. No, lumamongering is not part of the leisure activities. If you're doing that, then you're really doing another activity because it also wears out the brain. You have to remember all you're supposed to lie or to talk about. Okay.
We also have camps.
We have what?
Camping.
Camping, like the master guide camping or the picnics.
Yeah, as an activity.
Okay. I have talked a lot. I want to bring it back to the young lady, that is Lillian. Lillian, which activities can we involve ourselves into as the young ladies?
Well, thank you so much. I believe most of us do reading, but there is that reading for pleasure. I personally prefer reading for pleasure, and I think that's a better way of spending my leisure time.
Okay. Thank you. Reading. Some people, when you talk about reading, they even get tired already. But it depends on why you're reading. They're saying read for leisure, not for exam, not for lesson discussion, because you may be revising to make sure you do a lesson discussion, but just to read. And sometimes such things also help you to get to sleep very fast. Okay, I go to Judith. One of the things people complain about in families, they say, if I put it in Luganda, tebatutwalako out, especially the ladies complain. The woman is rotating between the kitchen, bedroom, school, because they have to visit the children at school, church. The only outing is the wedding of a church member. So they've gone for an outing. But Judith, tell us, which activities can we involve ourselves into as couples to help us even bond a little more than usual?
Thank you, Miss Lydia. Any couples here?
Maybe
Any people thinking to be couples?
They are watching online.
Yeah, you really need to go for those recreation activities because they are really good for your marriage, rejuvenating your marriages. For example, you can go for sunset watching. You take a walk, look at the sunset as in the morning as it rises. You don't need to always go that it includes money or anything. You can still go and maybe take a walk, see the trees, watch the birds, and maybe you can even watch the movies. Yes.
There is something that has come to my mind. Unfortunately, I don't know how many couples we have here, or people who are married, even if they are not couples. But did you know that plaiting your woman's hair is leisure and makes that lady relax? Did you know that? Oh God. How about for only that at least you do something, you cut off someone's nails, eh? Women, you're always busy washing the shirts, ironing them, putting there. For once relax in your moment, at least cut your husband's nails. It is something small, but it makes that person relax. I am not speaking as a married person. I'm speaking as a human being. Please don't judge me. So we want to come back. They're saying as an individual, recreation has benefits. It makes personal development and growth. Because if you have a strategic plan for your life, you have a moment to rethink and grow into that program. Physical health. Cells rebuild most when you're resting. Actually, even brain cells, when you sleep, they build more. They build new cells. It creates self-esteem and self-reliance. People who don't rest don't even have space for other people. Their brains are full of themselves. But when you rest, you have an accommodation to listen to someone, just like the preacher said. It is more fun. It enhances pleasure, reduces stress. People are dying of stress. If you have enough recreation, you have reduction of stress. It increases satisfaction. I wonder, some people have constructed houses which they have never enjoyed. It is the maid and probably the children who enjoyed their houses. Why build that house that you never enjoy? People have very nice balcons, eh? when you look at someone's house, it has a balcony, but you ask yourself, the owner of that house, has he or she ever sat on that balcony and at least sip a glass of juice on their balcony? They're always busy working. And the only time you're going to sit down is the time when you're sick and you can't eat what you're meant to eat. That's how funny life is. Okay, I want to come back to the youth again. Which damaging activities can we avoid as youth and we do not involve ourselves into them? Or how damaging are they in our lives?
Yeah. So as the youth, some of the damaging activities that we should not engage in so much, like some of them are gambling, and also movies can be a big addiction. There are others, maybe they don't want to mention here, but some do it in form of recreation, but which is also damaging to our bodies and soul. And God says that recreation should also be rejuvenating us. Masturbation is damaging to us as a youth. Some of these activities, some take them as recreation, which is, the preacher said, is amusement, but it's damaging to us. So such we should avoid. And also to add on, in recreation we say parties are good, but then it can also be an addiction. And as the preacher said, that recreation comes from work. So work should be more than recreation. It can become a tendency that you're always partying and you forget that I have to actually do what? Work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. When you look at this topic, recreation, probably someone may not get it well, but I think now we are somewhere at the same level. We have the children in the house. Did you know that children also get tired? Did you know children get tired? Or you think because they are children, for them they never get tired? And if they do, what are those recreational activities that we can have our children enjoy? And even when we do them, how can we be part of it? I want to ask Jole.
Some of the recreation activities for children, we can have adventure classes.
Okay.
Especially like our church. Most of the time, sometimes it really beats my understanding when there are classes and you see the same faces over and over again. Moreover, when we are down there in the children's chapel, our chapel is full to capacity. But you find these classes, there are only 20 children. So at this time, I really urge parents that bringing children to those classes, really, it gives them a lot. They learn a lot. They learn a lot of new things. They make friends, and it is even fun. It is really fun.
Unfortunately, most of the parents are not here. I hope they are watching online. That the children need also to come to these classes, and they are taught different things. It's not just about them learning the Bible, but they learn other activities. I don't know when you last did a birthday party for your child, and then you also realize that some parties, they even fail which games to play at the party because they are never involved in anything. Because when you're in these social groups, you happen to be able to learn different things. I've attended different parties of different kinds, but basically birthday parties, people get stuck. After you sang happy birthday, people are stuck. They don't know which jovial games you can play to make sure this is a fun moment for the children and for you. I want to open it down to the audience.
Maybe before you open,
yes.
I wanted to add on VBS. Mm-hmm. We usually have VBS, but when you really look at the themes and what we do in VBS, it's to build our children spiritually most of the time. But you find that these after activities, we have a lot of creative classes according to our age groups. So when these children come to the VBS, they really learn a lot. In the morning, we have devotions, but after devotions, what our children do are really enriching. So it's also another good Christian recreation activity for our children.
Thank you so much, Jolie. I want to come down to the audience. Please, could you tell us, or your version, how do you think we can enjoy our leisure time, but while maintaining Christian values? Oh, when I'm a Christian, all I have to do is be there, humble, no fun, no nothing, because that is when they can see you're so humble. I want to ask the gentlemen, there are 3 gentlemen seated next to the pole there. I see a point in that team there. People who enjoy soccer, is soccer bad? When does it become bad? Why am I asking that? Because most of us belong to some teams. Some are Arsenal fans, some are Manchester, Man U. We belong somewhere. That is a leisure activity. That is a recreational activity. Is it okay to only watch the ball and never play it? Because there's also that other part of it. Yes, my contributors.
To me, I would say it is not bad.
Oh, yes.
As long as you can have a limit such that it does not take the rest of your time and it takes much of your influence as you are in football. You know, it is one which is also very addictive. If you give it much of your time, at a certain time you will find that balancing them will become so hard.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Now they are bringing up the issue of balancing, balancing the boat, of balancing the issues when it comes to leisure. You don't do recreation completely. Now, there's also an issue of only watching the soccer and never play it. There are people here. I wish the youth leader was here. We should have a football tournament, okay? We are talking about recreation, but how much has the youth leadership, I see Bill is around, how much has the youth leadership brought this recreation into facts, into activity? And which things can we do? There is a hand there, I can't see well, someone in a black jacket and a tie, I don't know, I think that is Seth. That is Seth? Yes. There's, how can we enjoy, which activities can we do? I don't want, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Being free of work does not mean that you should be idle. Okay? Yes, Seth, your comment.
I feel when we can go to the nature walk, as someone explained it a while ago, when we can move like at like on seasides or on the shores or even on the beach once in a while, I think it can be a good recreation. And I don't know whether even there we can have a balance, because I don't think it's like in a soccer. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Thank you, thank you. Why are we saying all this? Members, friends who are dating, you ask yourself, which activity can I do during my dating? And all you know is come home and visit me, you sit on the movie, before you know it, things happen. You can do a lot of things together, minus necessarily coming home into your house. Not so. That's what we are trying to open up our minds to. We have said nature walks. Now someone will ask you, where is the nature now? We don't see any nature here, which we can visit. But there's what they call window shopping. Who has ever done window shopping, girls? It is so relaxing, you see. Go. My girls know that.
It's the way
men,
to go.
I don't know what you do. Besides football, which other activity do men do for their leisure? Please help us understand. Which other activity do you do? There is a hand here. Or others just don't do anything. Yes.
Sometimes it is good to listen to Christian music or media.
Okay. Christian music, listening to music, yes. And not every music is a leisure music. There's music which will make you come. You know, the body will talk. If it's relaxing music, the body will relax. If it is not, it will also do the otherwise. Yes, there was a hand here. Because I'm wondering what men do. For us women, we have a lot. We have a lot to do. Even to go for manicure, can also be a leisure.
Yes? I'm sorry, maybe to disagree a bit about window shopping.
Yes.
I'll say it personally, it happens to me. If I'm to go for window shopping,
yes,
the next month I'll be actually trying all my best to maybe raise money to buy something.
To buy that thing, yes.
Yes, so it keeps me in fact on tension. Things that really didn't catch me are now catching me. So what I would say is what you put your heart to, that is where your heart will be. So at times
Yes.
it's better to stay away from some things.
Yes.
If it is to go for games, it's okay. I would say that you sweat, you come back and your body is really relaxed.
Yes.
That's a form of recreation.
Yes.
And also maybe going to visit some people, talk
Yes.
to some people. I think it's also good recreation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now you see the diversity of men and women. Eh? When I said window shopping, ladies were saying, yeah, because for us it is relaxing. To men it is stressing. So do what your heart makes you happy, but at the end of the day it should refresh you. There was a comment he made, I think, there was a comment, I want to go to Lillian. There was a comment he made that visiting people, I don't know when was the last time you went back to your village. When was the last time you visited those people in your village? Because that thing is refreshing. It is very refreshing. You come back to town when the brain is all refreshed. So don't think about only money, but even that is good. Yes, Lillian.
Well,
yes.
When you talked about men, what they can do,
yes,
it's amazing the way men these days get engaged in the cooking.
The kitchen, eh?
Yes.
Yes.
It used to be, before it used to be for women. Yes, of course women enjoy it, but these days men do it very well. I just like the way those I've seen, and I think it's part of the leisure activities.
Men are in agreement. Most men are shaking their heads. But let me tell you, there are things you do from the ordinary, and you'll also feel, yes, at least I've done something. So far, I have known men have two things. Football, which was the other thing? Nature walk. And what is the other thing? Doing what? Reading. Christian music. Okay. And the gym. Ayabas. Ladies, get ready. At least escort him to one of those things. Eh? Make sure you're in line. I want us to conclude. I don't know what time it is. I don't know if you have any questions to throw back this side about leisure. I'm seeing one hand. And another one. Jolie, is it a question? You're going to come in later after Elisha's question. Yes, Elisha has a question.
Thank you, the panel. We have issues with leisure, and you realize that when the youth go to spend their leisure time, I saw your topic was talking about a temptation. I haven't heard about it, and you're coming to an end. But I thought a temptation whereby instead of having leisure the Christian way, you find yourself leisure taking you away from God. For example, the kind of groups that you go with for leisure, and maybe what kind of activity you're going to do there. I once saw photos of my friend when they had gone for leisure, for swimming, was hugging every girl that was there. The bottles of alcohol were around, and I was wondering whether this is a Christian leisure time, it is a recreation, or it is an amusement. So you will find your fellow youth or your Mifem hugging some men with the tattoos, and he is on what? In leisure time. The temptation bit of it. Oftentimes we may be tempted in such instances, and at the end of it all, someone may come out with a regret of why he or she really went for that kind of activity. So I beg we also move to that direction.
Okay. Okay, I was actually emphasizing so much of how to do it the Christian way, but I would also like to hear from you how much that free time can become a temptation. How is it a temptation? And when does it turn into a temptation? Elisha has mentioned a little bit of it, that when, depending on the company that we have,
leisure can end up being a temptation. I want to hear from the members in the back. I think they are having a discussion there. If you don't mind, how does recreation turn into a temptation? Which activities do we do that may lead us into temptation? As the panelists can come in, anyone who has the answer onto that. Yes.
For me, I think as young Christians, sometimes you feel like your life is boring. So you end up having a circle of friends who are different from you. And the kind of activities, for example, I might have Christian friends, non-Adventist friends who drink. And like, you come and we go out, and you also do what? You go. In the process, if you continue with that kind of circle, you'll find yourself learning how to drink. For you, in order for you to fit in, you have to learn how to drink. So in order to avoid that kind of temptations, we should also be mindful on how we choose our circle, on how we choose our friends. Because I know if I go out with Lydia, there are certain things that I can't do. Because we have almost the same values. Our life doesn't have to be boring as Christians, but we need to find a common ground where whatever we do it for the glory of God.
Thank you so much, Jane. Thank you. There is a contribution there, okay?
Yeah, I think just to add on what Jane has said, environment, where the recreation activity is happening from. And then after environment is the time. For example, most of the men who are here enjoy video games, I think. For those who do, there are those that do. But if your video games go into your work time or your church time, that is basically your leisure activities entering into a wrong time. I remember one day coming back from church and I found my buddies in the room. They had bought a console, a big screen. Those guys were playing FIFA on Sabbath. I think that is good recreation, but in a wrong time, right? And then even environment, there is a time, like for example, you go for movies, but in wrong places, basically. Even watching movies is a good recreation, but which type of movies do you watch? So time, environment, and activity, they are the parameters to check on during recreation.
Thank you so much. What we are trying to say, there is a hand behind, what we are trying to say is that recreation is not bad, but you can spoil it with the environment, not apportioning time rightly, and then the company you're having can end up spoiling your recreation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Madam. You asked about how leisure can be bad at times. For example, most of the times we gentlemen, we like discussing about politics when we are free in our time. And you find us discussing about different political ideologies, political parties, and what have you. And in the due course of the discussion, you find that my ideology does not match with my colleague, and at the end, we end up sharing some bad words over political issues. Likewise, to football matches. May find I'm a Manchester United fan, someone is an Arsenal fan. And in the discussion again, you find us again abusing each other, neither reacting badly over such a kind of matches and football and what have you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. That is when recreation becomes a burden or a temptation. I'm seeing a hand from Elisha. Members behind, when does recreation become a temptation? We want to hear from you.
Maybe another perspective.
Yes.
If I have a group of people who take alcohol,
yes,
and they are calling me for an outing to go with them. Maybe the other thing, you talked about birthday parties, and you've been invited for a birthday party. Of recent, I've come to realize that there are tables of alcohol on different parties. And how do you strike a balance? When do you decide not to go with this group? Because you realize that you have to be with them, and you need to take a stand to talk to them of your God. But are you aware that you can go with them and you end up, yes, and if you've never tested alcohol, the first time you test, a single drop will beat you down. So how do you strike a balance and say, here I will go with you, this I will not go, or I will go for this purpose and I know I will stand. Instead of going and at the end of the day, we find someone is also drunk, we know the person, the pictures have been shared, and at the end of the day you are regretting. So when do we strike a balance, and how do we balance to go with people or not to go with them?
This panel, if you have the answer, you can as well always chip in. But this is coming back to to the audience. I want to know whether we are really moving together, because we don't want to move alone. When do we strike a balance? Judith has an answer.
You just have to stand your ground and know, or you can avoid the groups. You can maybe invite them to church. When they invite you to those parties, you can also invite them to church. Because I know they will not come, you'll also say, you refuse to come, so I will not make it too. Or you can stand your ground if you happen to go, and self-control.
Okay, a comment?
Maybe to add on, Judith, also a choice. Like, we have choice. We have the right to make choices. So you can choose to either follow them or no. So it is between yourself and your God, and whatever is going around you.
Okay, one thing I've realized, I must say I have friends who actually drink, and I have friends who are not from church, but I also have a lot of friends in church. You realize that people who are out of church like going out more than the people in church. People in church, even the programs set for the church for us to enjoy, we don't enjoy them. We step out and move away. But one thing I realized, that those people outside church can know your principles, and they are watching you. You may think Jesus is watching you, but those people watch you more than anyone else. When you do anything against your principles, they'll be the ones to tell you, hey, you mean also Adventists do that? So they are the ones actually to even remind you. But what are we trying to say? If it will lead you into temptation and you fall off your principles, better not to. The question is, why am I going there? Is it to preach the gospel? Does it edify God? Think about it before you get moving. But there is also some interesting bit. When these people realize you don't drink like them, they will not call you for an outing twice. I don't know if you've had that experience. If they call you the first time, they realize you're not into them, the next time they will leave you. That is it. But if they keep calling you and you go out, watch your space. There is a possibility you're also doing what? Following, bending towards them. Yes, Jane?
I don't know, somewhere in Proverbs it says a godly person chooses his friends wisely.
Yes.
Yes, there is a scripture that talks about it. Then, sometimes I have friends, especially people who work around me, and they are these party people. So whenever they call me, first of all, because the Bible says, let your light shine before people so that they may see your good works and praise your Father in heaven. Wherever we go for those parties, let's say when they call me for those parties, one thing that I first tell them, let us pray. And I pray for them. I try to balance. This is what I do. Like, I try to, they also know that I'm a Christian. So they try as much as they can. Like, they put a boundary because they know what I stand for. And most of the times when they know that some of us are Christian, they end up not bringing the drinks because they know our principles and what we stand for. So I think we should not chase those people away, but setting boundaries that this, I do this. Let your friends know what you are.
Okay.
Instead of going, you drink, it's okay. No, if you don't smoke, tell the person kindly, can you smoke outside? Can you do this? I don't do that. It is affecting us. So I think setting boundaries and also following a godly way, like a godly person chooses his friends wisely.
Thank you, Jane. I have seen a hand in the middle pew, and I'm also seeing Doctor. As they are coming on, I think you can go the other side. As they are coming on, we realize much as would like to have only and only church members as our friends. Sometimes you may not dictate who is going to come into your social circle, but you can dictate which character you behave before everyone. Yes.
Thank you very much for this presentation. I've got a few questions to ask you.
Yes.
You are a lamp
Yes.
in this world, right?
Yes.
Where are lamps put?
On the
Are
hill.
you a lamp? You speaking. Am I a lamp? Now, if non-Adventists invite you and you refuse to go, that means you are not a lamp. Because a lamp is always put where there is darkness, isn't it? Why do you want to move with Adventists only? Because we assume all Adventists is light. Why do you light a lamp in light? To do what? We are all Christians. Assuming Daniel refused to serve with Babylonians, will King Nebuchadnezzar have worshipped God? Now, why do you want to shine where there is light?
Okay.
Are you light yourself?
Okay.
Some of you even don't want to work with non-Adventist institutions. Are you a light to shine in light? If you fear to go out with non-Adventists, then you have a problem. You go there and shine to them. They will see that light and they will come to you.
Amen.
Had Daniel refused to serve in Babylonia, the story we read, the book we read, would have not been there. But if you appreciate, if you read that book and appreciate it, then go with them. If you are sure you are light. But if you are not sure, don't go.
Thank you so much, brother. There is a controversy he has raised. I hope we have not lost the concept. We haven't said that do not interact with them. We are saying have a standard, and they will always refer back to you. And wherever you go, they will know, and they will be the ones saying, oyotanywa mwenge temumuwe ebyo. That one doesn't do this. But it doesn't mean that cut them off, move in the line. Make sure, I ask, are you an elder? Okay, hello. Are you a deaconess? Okay, how are you? No. We live in this world, and the world is to see the light out of us. Thank you so much, brother. And I hope the audience and us all have understood the concept, because we are not diverting from what he's saying. He's actually emphasizing what we are saying, but in another side altogether. Thank you so much.
Actually, I also concur with him. That's the point I wanted to raise all along. Remember the lesson. There is one lesson which we studied. Christianity in the community. Was it? That was the title. And there is this subtopic which was saying that being in the world, but not of the world.
Yeah.
But not of the world.
Yes.
And in that lesson, if at all we still remember very well, it was showing us that there is no way how we can exclude ourselves from the community. And at the same time, in that very lesson, it taught us that if at all we are to preach the gospel, we should not keep it to our what?
To ourselves,
huh?
yes.
That's why he brought the issue that if at all you are late, or if you are late and you want to shine only in the what? In the light. Huh? Actually, our work out there in the community, we are supposed to light the what? To light the lamp. Huh? And at the same time, another issue here is that we have to remember the major theme of the quinquennium. That is, I will what?
I will go.
I will go. Now, when the theme says that I will go, and you get that opportunity, make sure that you use that opportunity very well. Whichever opportunity that you get, make sure that you use it very well, so that it can proclaim the what? The gospel. Even at our workplaces, we need to make a standard.
Oh, yes.
He was also talking about working in different organizations. I have a brother, Difas. Difas, when he was invited to work in a microfinance, immediately after the interviews, what he told the manager, said that, but for me, I will not work on Sabbath. Every Saturday I will not be working. If you are giving me the job, give it to me. If you are not giving it to me, don't. Then they say, okay, you start. He started working. And he was excused to work on Sabbath. Then there are some Adventists also who came and joined the what? The organization. But for them, they did not state it categorically clear. They came, some of them were already there. They were working on Sabbath, but they realized that Difas was excused. Now they also say that we are also Adventists. They said, no.
It was too late.
They told them, Difas told us from day one that he's an Adventist. And he has always said that, and he has stood to his ground. For you, we don't know you. So we need to learn a lot. Actually, whenever we go out and we socialize with other people, when they see the different attributes that we declare as Christians, actually, they can be influenced to join us.
Thank you. I see Elisha is coming on board. Nakato, are you saying something?
Yeah, I wanted to add on.
Okay.
I think we were agreeing with the brother's point of being lights, lamps unto the world. But I beg to disagree a bit. There is still a controversy on that point, in that, yes, sometimes you have to, of course you can't do away with associating with these people, even as some of them that are friends, but the point was, there is sometimes where you need to stand your ground. And also when preaching the work, it doesn't mean that maybe if your friends, you know the values you stand for, they're asking you to go to a club with them because you want to preach, okay, you go with them. There is another way of preaching the word, being a lamp, so there have to be some differentiative, something you have to stand apart, your Christian values. Even when you want to be a light unto the lamp, there is a distinction, a balance.
I love the way this discussion began. We began by trying to show ourselves that there are recreational activities, first of all in church, secondly even outside church, in our normal life. The challenge we always get is thinking that the only recreational activity we can get is what those other people do. I want us to leave this afternoon. Can someone bring the microphone, Dr. Joshua here? Then Elisha next, because he has already spoken. It can come this side. I want us to appreciate that it's not only what other people do that is recreation. We can have even ours. I was mentioning birthday parties. Even the birthday party of your baby in the house, a 1-year-old, it can be a recreation activity. It doesn't mean that the only time to have leisure is, actually, if you think like that, you're not far from the person who thinks that the only moment to rest is to sleep. If you think the only recreation activities are only those ones you involve yourself in with people who don't believe the same way like you do, you're not far from the person who thinks that the only rest we have is sleep. Okay? So we are trying to broaden the way we see things, so that you can understand that we can have recreation in all directions. Even these activities we don't involve ourselves in church, they're actually recreation activities entirely planned to make us refreshed. Yes, doctor.
Thank you so much for this theme. I want to thank the panelists as well for the thoughts they have shared with us. I look at it, recreation, simply me, I look at it as time for relaxing.
Mhm.
And like the preacher said earlier, that whatever we do it for the glory of God. I guess that includes even in our recreation time. In other words, we should not segment. This is a spiritual time and then this is recreation time. But the principle is, or the purpose should be, that even during recreation time, we should endeavor to see that whatever we indulge in helps us grow or promotes Christ-like character. The other thing I noted is that during recreation, we should, a recreation activity should be one that helps you, either your mind or your physical body, or both, to relax.
Yes.
And so that you can be ready for your other routine later when you are refreshed. So a recreation activity that does not help your mind or your physical body reinvigorate itself probably might not be so good. For example, I don't know, but if you watch a movie, a series, the whole day, some of us who have done it, you realize that by the end of the day, your mind is so weighed down that even tomorrow you might not be ready for work. So I don't think that might be a good Christian recreation activity. And by so I mean that we should be temperate, even in our recreational activities. Temperate. Don't go and play football the whole day, because you come back at 8 p.m. That might not be good. And yet also playing football might be good. The other thing I realize is, especially for Christian recreation, competition or competitive recreation, or recreation that allows livery to come in. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. For example, if it is football, you can play football on a friendly basis. But if that football match is so competitive that even you think of breaking a brother's leg just to win, then I don't think that would be a good thing. So competition we should be careful with recreation that are very competitive. The other ones are recreation that are commercialized. Someone might say betting is what? Is a good recreation, but that other side of commercialization then might not make betting so good a recreation to indulge in as Adventists or as good Christians. So, but I think we should, and God wants us to relax our bodies, relax our minds. We don't have to always just be bogged down by, even though it was religious themes. Some people are on the other extreme, that we should not at all indulge in any recreation. That is not good. And then the other extreme is too much. You are always looking for ways of excitement and inventing new things. That might not also be good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I like the thing of temperance in recreation. I think we are focusing on it so much, enjoying recreation. Imagine someone swimming from morning till evening, and that is all they've done the whole day. So it means that in everything that we do, we ought to be temperate. Do the right thing at the right time. I like talking about sleeping. Sleeping can be nice, but if it is not the quality of sleep matters. It is either refreshing or like at the end of the day you become more tired after this. Meaning, there's something I'm learning today, that if you're doing an activity for recreation, But out of that activity, you end up more tired than when you entered there. Then it is ceasing to be a recreation. At least that should be a take home to all of us. There was a comment from Elisha.
My comment is during recreation and in the rest of our life, as our memory verse was, let us not think of evangelism as a time when we go to the pulpit or when we hold a crusade somewhere or when we have a week of prayer. But every step of our life. You said non-Adventists or people outside there, they see us. They know what you should not take. They know what you should not eat. Actually, they're the ones to ask you. And then when you start encroaching on their side, as you said, now they will start even inviting you more.
They will remind you.
Aren't you going with us this time round? Oh, because last time they had good time with you. But if you strike the balance and you know, I will start from my, and you put it in your mind that this is a ground for evangelism, even your dress code should change. But most of the times, we want to dress like the world. Actually, this is my major point that I wanted to bring out. If you really want to win them out, what is your dress code? If it is the same as theirs, then you make no difference. You're qualified to be invited. What is on your table? On the table, when they put food on the table, what is the choice that you make? Otherwise, they will see no difference, and you qualify number 2 to be invited again. If they are going to, if they are going to sleep, there's those activities where they go for a holiday and they have to sleep there. Whom do you enter in with? You enter with who in the room? People are entering 2, and for you say, I'll enter alone. You know, some people can be married, or others may be single. Now you see also a married woman, a married man, saying that I'm going with this mama or this lady. Then you're spoiling, or you are qualifying for another invitation. There's no one who is going to arrest you for really maintaining your integrity and say, I'm going to sleep alone, I'm going to eat this kind of diet, and I'm going to dress up like this. They will not chase you because you are in a skirt or you are in a trouser, however you are, but for the glory of who?
God. Thank you so much, Elisha, and thank you for your contribution. I've seen Elder come in. Elder, you're welcome, Elder Seruwaji. And today we are talking about leisure, or how to have recreation activities. And when we are talking about the side of the married, all of us who are seated up here are not married. And we are wondering whether we are speaking facts as far as your side is concerned. I'm going to request Jen to carry a microphone towards you, and you give us a glimpse. Which recreational activities, which leisure activities can we indulge in as couples? And I was going to talk about those who are dating, who are planning to be married, because they seemingly, sometimes activities, you run out of activities. You don't even know what to do with your girlfriend, with your fiancé before marriage. But now, Elder, if it's okay, you can come in front. We'll be fine with it. But now, Elder, I want him to talk to us as the married couples. Some couples are bored, Elder. Bantubako, things are boring. Kitchen, bedroom, church. The only outing is going to the church service of someone's wedding. That's the outing. So, please, Elder.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening, Elder.
Or good afternoon. Happy Sabbath.
Happy day.
Thank you. So, well, that's an interesting topic. When I was out there, I heard you talk.
Oh,
I was on the phone, actually.
Thank you, Elder.
Because I was speaking to a visitor who just visited us from the Pentecostal church.
Oh, they are welcome.
Yes. And the very thing that you talked about, I didn't know all of you are not married. You don't look unmarried, though. But the thing is, there was this young man who advised a married couple, a social scientist, and he only did research. And he clearly writes down here that take care of my advice because I am unmarried. Next time I will tell you what he did. So maybe you're talking about something, but actually in marriage, the way you behave, the time you spend together begins before marriage. What you build before marriage, what you young people should be doing is learning what you're saying exactly, how you socialize, as young people, how you interact with the opposite sex. When you get to courtship, where you spend your time. If you don't have enough time together, you will end up in producing children, taking children to school, going to your workplace, coming to church, and some of those events you get invited to, and those will be your social activities, or going for burial. Those are the type of things. But if we learn to spend time before marriage, then we carry values into marriage. I tell my daughter, for instance, that it's good to learn some outdoor games, so that your interaction, I liked it when you say, your interaction when you're visiting this young man who is courting you, you avoid going to his house. He's a single man. What business does he have inviting you to his house? All right? But when you go out, whether you're going for a meal somewhere or to a garden somewhere, or if you learn how to play, there are these games where you play, there is tennis. There are a few things you can do together. And those actually build your out of the house interaction, the outdoor interactions. And so I would encourage that in terms of recreation, it's not too late. You can catch up. But the problem is that when you get married, other things come in as responsibilities. So if you've not built that culture, you will not have it. Okay? But for my experience, I was very much interested in playing, in riding, and during my courtship, I understood I did not have this in-house business. Even if my wife was here, she would testify. We liked going out. You guys have a lot more places to go out. I'm not talking of expensive places, I'm talking of affordable places. For us, it was common to find us at Fido Dido. If you knew what Fido Dido is, it was the only place on Bombo Road where we did the ice cream. But you guys have so many good places to go. And the only thing I don't see today, maybe as a church, maybe in these 2 years of COVID, is also as a church, we're not having social activities, enough social activities. So I'll end here, but I think the best way to do it is for the young people, try to organize these social activities so that you interact more and more and more out there.
Thank you so much, Elder. And thank you for bringing the ball back to us. We're throwing it so much for the marriage. You brought it back, that what you do today, what you begin with today is what you'll carry on even during your marriage and even life after marriage. Some of us, we have children whom you never play with. When a kid tells you, let us even play this one, they put one hand on top of the other, sooner, that one. You think it is weird, you cannot play with this kid. For once, stop thinking about other things and just enjoy the moment. Someone even told me one time that washing dishes is a relaxing moment. I don't know how relaxing it is. But anyhow, when you're washing dishes, you're actually concentrating on those dishes. If you start thinking otherwise, they break. Somehow they do. So to be careful, you concentrate. I want to move like this as we give our conclusive remarks, unless someone has a comment from the audience. Someone has a comment. I didn't hear ladies talk, apart from the ones I have here. Ladies in the audience, are there recreative activities you enjoy or you would wish? It is also hard The poor guy is there thinking, oh, what can I do for this chick? How can I please? When even you yourself, you don't know what you want. You give people a lot of hard time. At least know what you want, and then the other person will begin from there. Members next to the notice board. Members next to the notice board, any recreative activity that you think we can involve in as youth. I don't seem to see them very well, but I see Lillian, Madam Lillian Wani, and the team. That's what I can see. I see DN there. Please advise us as youth, because one of the query, and I was asking, why did you give us this topic of all topics? Pastor told us that during the lockdown, people got stuck. They didn't know what else to do with themselves. They are there. They can only walk away from their home, not even beyond that, and they just don't know what to do. And I thank God that some marriages came up. I hope no one was married because of lack of recreation. Yes, team, you can give it to Dennis Mubiru, because I know as a counselor, he always has something to tell us. We are on recreation, and which recreation activities can we involve in as Adventist youth that will not be damaging, or how can recreation become damaging to the youth?
I found you when you had already moved a little bit. But I think in every activity you take, you are held responsible for the outcomes, because we are adults enough. I don't want to believe that any single adult doesn't know which recreational activity can lead to danger and which one doesn't lead to danger in his or her own area, because we all have unique areas, unique backgrounds, unique weaknesses and unique strengths. So as an individual, you need to assess your uniqueness in the recreational activities that you want to involve in. Corporately, those are easy to manage, because when you say we go for netball, you'll go corporately and you play netball. After playing netball, you all disperse. So even the organizers of such corporate ones know which ones should be moderate, which shouldn't be dangerous. But in Uganda, we are blessed that we have a lot of natural recreation activities which can give us peace of mind. Did you know that even if you just went and took a ride, I think they don't allow walks, a ride on Southern Bypass from Kajansi to Abaita Ababir, if you chose to be recreated, you will come back recreated. If you went to Kaz, and it is near here, the big forest, and took time there just to see how God works in there, you can even play, you can run, you can do what you recreate. If you went to some of these spacious beaches, if you went to Munyonyo Resort, the other open space down, where they don't charge a lot, but it's just down there and you just look at. So there are many recreations that can be used that may not even require a lot of expenses, because there are those years which require a lot of expenses. If you wanted to go to the game parks and you wanted to go and visit Ginger, the lakes and whatever, but we can look around and start with what we have. Even if you took a walk around Kampala here, you'll be surprised that somebody might be here and doesn't know what this place is called Nakasero. Somebody might be here when he or she doesn't know where the tax park is in Kampala. It is possible that somebody is in the church, doesn't know where tax park is. Because he comes from this side, they drop him one day, he comes here, boards and goes. He doesn't know where it is. You can just choose to walk around and know your environment. As we teach in the Master Guide, that when you're in an environment, know all the escape routes, know all the police areas, know all the hospitals around you, know all the entry areas. So we can look at activities that bring us together, and they will not compromise on our integrity. But there is lockdown currently. I don't know how it can be done. I don't know how we can have an E. That one, an E1. That one, I don't know how it can really be. Because it involves, first of all, data, network, everyone to be available there. But I think right now the physical social ones can take place, the small ones. I have seen them from where I stay there. People are being cleared. They can go out and think of something. But whichever outing or whichever social recreation that should be there, it must have an objective. And that objective must be fulfilled. That should be the guiding stone. You can choose and say this outing is for us to go and learn how to knit, such that we make sponges for bathing at home. That's an objective. We go and learn how to do this. We can't just socialize. We are just going to play. We are just going to do this. So there must be an objective. But I want to leave that each activity should be evaluated at its own merit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diane, and thank you for your contribution. Another thing I'm learning is that when you go for leisure, for your recreation, it must have an objective and something should be achieved at the end of the day, although it should come out refreshing. I want each one of the panelists to give us their conclusive remarks as far as their contribution was concerned and their age bracket they are looking at. Yes, we begin with the youth, and then the ladies, young ladies, the children, and then the couples or the marrieds.
Thank you so much, Lydia, and the current speakers. I want to add it from the points of the elder where he left it, that maybe the church has not had so many recreation activities, and it should go back to the youth department maybe and family life to organize enough social gatherings, maybe open nature Sabbaths. Some of these are also very recreative in nature, maybe inter-exchange Sabbaths with other churches, to have games and sports like the youth did, any other, so that maybe, because there was another point where people are seeking recreation somewhere else, so this also helps in bonding and also doing recreation activities that rejuvenate us, but also give glory to the Lord. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the young ladies, it has been well said by the elder that what you do now or before you get into the marriage matters a lot. Before you think of it, if you don't participate in any leisure activity, that simply means even when you go to, when you get married, you always be stuck. So to avoid that, let's begin now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I looked at the children. Because of time, my heart went to the disabled, the children, because those people are really, we even have special homes for them. But I looked at what recreation activities can we have for such children, and of course, they are not differing from these normal children. But I looked at the motives. After recreation, what then? We get those children, they get skills development. Because of the different activities they get involved in, their skills are developed. 2, they socialize. And because they get hands-on things. And so they socialize, and then they prefer what to do and what not to do. And another thing, they also develop self-esteem. Even if they are not disabled, but all children, we have shy children. So due to recreation activities they involve themselves in, they develop self-esteem, which will help them when they grow up. So basically, it was really a large topic, but if we involve our children in everything that can really build them, then the better, and their future will be bright. Thank you.
Thank you. For the couples and the married, just the simple things can also rejuvenate your marriage, can also give you the recreation you'd like. It's not all about the money. Maybe you used to go on dates before marriage, you used to go for the dinners. You can redo them to rejuvenate your marriage. It might not even take you to go outside. You can keep inside, prepare a best dish for your husband, or the husband can prepare the best dish for the wife. And maybe you can have a candlelight dinner and have away the evening. And for the couples, you don't need much. Still, you can take walks, and instead of taking a taxi, it can escort you back home. Yeah, and that can also be refreshing.
Thank you. Thank you, Judith, and thank you, panelists. Someone one time said that for them as a couple, in every year, they have they have to date this girl, this lady again. Adamu na mukwana mwe. And it's up to her to say whether you have the credit or not. Just for fun. And then they also have a boys' day out. A day when dad is free of titles, free of everything, just be himself. Enjoy his moment. He's always looking towards that. But that is how they do their things. However, in conclusion, this is what we learn. The youth department will have a role to play. We need to rejuvenate church. I remember when we were young, we used to have interesting afternoon programs. Today, when you ask people what they do in the afternoon programs, some of them even have no idea. We used to have Bible games. We used to have skits. Okay? Most of the stories in the Bible would act them out. Today you tell someone to act as Mary, it looks weird. The young children who are, they are called, the young ones who are a little bit younger than us, who are in church, don't know these things. Can we bring life back? Can someone look out for the story of Jesus, of Lazarus? We used to act those things and make church very interesting. We'll look towards the afternoon program. Involving ourselves in church programs like camps, like the tours. I missed the tour. At least it was church that made me go to Zambia. I don't think I would have gone there by myself. But when these things come on, let us get on board, save for them and be part of them. The different clubs of church, they are good for us. They develop us. And then there's also another activity, caring for others. Visit the less privileged. Even you who is seated here who thinks you have problems, there's someone who's less than you somewhere there. If you visit such people, care for them, you'll find it very refreshing. When you thought you have 3 pairs of shoes and then you find someone who doesn't have and you give away one, it feels very refreshing. Then visiting churches, I don't know where that ended. We would have some programs when, for example, you say the youth from Makerere Church, the one of Nankulabia, comes and visits the youth of here, and we have a combined Sabbath and make it vibrant. Or as we go visit another church, I don't know when that last happened. So we need to do those exchange visits now that we cannot do the camping out. It's not possible, but we can do that. And then lastly, it's about the children, that we have to involve children in everything that we do, including the disabled. When you're playing ball at home, make sure you push his wheelchair. And he's also in the courtyard. Make them feel involved. Even when you're playing cards, let us say, make them part of the team so that they can know we belong to the family. There are some, when you're sitting at the dining table, there are somewhere far. No. Bring them at the dining. Bring them closer. And they will know that, yes, we are part of this family. Otherwise, thank you so much. And thank you for being such a great audience. And I want to believe that you create a moment to refresh yourself before you begin the week. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I believe you will. After all this discussion, you can't fail to refresh yourself. Thank you so much, Pano, and may God bless you. As we conclude, I'd like to call upon Jackie to come and give us a very short sermonette, and then we'll have a closing word of prayer. Yes, I think that's how it's going to be. One song so that we have our Jackie here to come and share with us, and then we'll have a closing word of prayer.
We are going to sing to 81.
I gave my